Okay, guys, I'm back from the trip. Made it safely alive, and want to show you the new changes that as you go on every trip, you're always tweaking your gear. So the changes I'm going to do is the following. Usually, the way we hunt it, and when I say we, the old dudes, we didn't carry anything. We just carried one belt, one knife, canteen of water, and binoculars, and that's all we took. When I started hunting and started carrying a day pack, I would put the pack on top of the existing belt. Well, that would create a problem because the pack could not sit on the hips. It would sit above the belt that is sitting on the hips, and it wouldn't sit right the way it should. The most of the weight would have been resting on the shoulders, causing pain and discomfort. So on this trip I made, I'm walking with the rifle on my back, and I'm trying to go as quiet as possible, and I have the rifle in this position here, and the canteen is right behind it, so it's going clunk clunk and hitting it every time. You're climbing, and you can't really be grabbing everything. I would just try to grab the rifle in position. So I decided that the changes I'm gonna make are gonna be the following. I'm not carrying the belt anymore, and I try to see if I can carry what I have on the belt on the pack, because the only problem I had was that as you walk, your pants start sagging down. So what I would do is disconnect the pack, take this belt off with everything was on it, the binoculars, the knife, and the gun corral, plastic canteen full of water, put it down on the floor, grab my pants, possibly cinch it a little tighter, right? Then put everything back on, and then retighten the pack belt. Well, it became a hassle, and then also I had to put the gun down somewhere. So what I did now, I spent in the afternoon, I said, let me see if I can come up with something here. So I put the knife and the flashlight on one side, the binocular pack on the other, and I couldn't fit the corral because it was sitting too forward of the pack, and basically the gun would have been hanging this way in front of me, and when I'm trying to stretch my leg, raise it up so I can do some climbing, the stock of the rifle will be on the way, and it's hitting my leg. So I said, let me try this other thing. So let me show you. I'm always doing some MacGyver. Let me show you what I came up with. And now the pack feels more comfortable because I don't have the other belt bothering me. Anyway, if I can find the, let me do it this way. There we go. Okay, that's binocular there. So now, with everything on the pack, when I take the pack off, everything comes off. So now I can adjust the pack that the belt would sit on the hips where they should be. So here's the knife, here's the flashlight, and I had the flashlight on the opposite side, but it keeps sliding because the loop on the flashlight is pretty big, so it'll slide from one side, doesn't bother. Okay, now the binocular, I usually have it on my left side, And this pouch is falling apart. And now I can carry everything appropriately. I have to tighten this belt more. There's always some leftover material. Anyway, so this is the deal. Now the pack is sitting right on my hips, right there. And then I can go ahead and give it the final adjustment. Before, when I had the other belt with all the stuff on, I would have to put the pack above it because I couldn't close it. I couldn't snap the pack belt because of the canteen was in the way. Also, the canteen, when I would sit down, the canteen was kind of bothering me, being in the way, and I'm sitting partly on it. I'm over here struggling with the canteen, and then when I'm walking with the rifle on, it's banging against the canteen. So now I don't have that issue, and I reduce a few ounces, almost a pound, without the belt in the canteen, 14 ounces. Okay, now about the rifle, and everything is handy. I got the binoculars that I can just take out and glass real quick, right? And then put it back on the pouch. I had another one that it was a chest pouch and a binocular carrier here, and one of the snap clips broke on the second use. I returned it. It's $50, and these things are breaking already without me even using it in the field. So when I went to get it and put it on, it was already broken. So I took it back. Now the corral, I couldn't use it in front, like I said before, because of this pouch here. I couldn't use it here in the front. There's no way I'm going to have a rifle going across like that, and I couldn't use it back here. So I decided to see if I can, if it works on this belt. And oddly enough, even though it's not exactly horizontal, it grabs the rifle and it keeps it in position. So you just gotta get accustomed to finding it, and you go in here like this and hook it. I think it's hooked, yeah. And then you can come around with the loop. And let me see if I can see it right there. There it is. It's hooked. So all I do is walk with this, put some tension on it, and I can walk, and the rifle is not swinging the bottom. It's not, yeah, horizontal. Sometimes you're walking and the rifle swinging, and basically it's going across like this. It's very uncomfortable. This corral has really made it a lot simpler for me, and also works with the other gun. So right now I can move. Oh, and if I really want to do another type of setup, I can get these little strap and wrap it around and connect it, and it will keep it tight to the body, so I can have my hands free if I'm really doing some angle climbing and I need to grab rocks or whatever. Some places are kind of steep. You have to basically go on 4 legs, so you can carry the gun that way. So pull it, take it out, and bingo, you're done. On the Browning BLR, same thing. Bring it here, you find the hook, let's see, bring it around. Wait a minute, it's just a matter of getting the hang of it. Wait a minute. Right there is between the lever and the magazine, and like I said, that thing is right on the money. So luckily I was able to, I could use it this way because the corral is really handy, and I couldn't use it under the belt, on my pants belt, because the belt from the pack is going over it and it has that pouch. So this way I can work with it and I can carry it. And the same thing, I can also clip on this little strap and keep it on. So then, let's say that my pants are dragging down. Okay, happens all the time. I just unhook this right here, bring up the pants, boom, I don't have to put nothing on the floor. I can probably do it with the rifle on if I really do it, if I try it. And the in place of the canteen, I have a bladder. Just gotta find it. I don't know where it is now. And I can put her in the pack, and it has the hole for the line, and I can have the water. I'm gonna carry a canteen and a half of water in case you do kill a deer. You have a little bit of water to wash your hands. Very seldom I drink the whole canteen of water, so I know I'm gonna have some water left over. Okay, so the only thing I have to kind of work on is to make sure none of this stuff drops off when I take up the belt. So I'm gonna have to do some sort of little snap or something that'll stay in place, because the minute I drop the belt, this is the binocular is the first thing that drops off. You know, I don't want to damage the binocular. So now, let me take this off. So that's one way of tweaking that pack to make it useful and make it more comfortable. And now it is more comfortable. The trip that I did the year before last, I was carrying that belt with everything on it, and I couldn't on the hip. All the way was hanging on my shoulders because the hips weren't being, this wasn't being supported by the hips, and it was really, really uncomfortable. So I still say that this type of pack, it's not to go camping for several days. That's why I did it with the sleigh. It's over there, the cheap plastic. I'm gonna get rid of it. If I'm gonna do the sleigh again next year, I'll just have a different type of pan. I'll have a bigger one, like the ones that the guys use to go duck hunting, and they can take all the decoys with them. I was looking into that. Or just get one of the construction pans, cement mixing. I think they're $15 or something, and I'll probably do a MacGyver with that, and I'll make it work. So that's one way of lightening the load and making the pack more comfortable. So pretty confident that's going to work. Another thing I'm going to do, I already started doing, is that let's see where I put it, right here. The scope, I have the Havoc VX.H in the green dot. The scope has it. This scope weighs 1 pound, 3 ounces. This scope was on the lever action, and what I did, the day I got here, second day I was here, I rested for a day. I took the scope off, and I decided that this scope, that it's already programmed for 150 grain E-tip 308, with all the information about the altitude and the temperature and everything, because Leupold already sent me the ring. It took me almost 5 months to get that ring. I'm not gonna throw it away, obviously. So what I'm gonna do, I'm going to buy another rifle to put this scope on with a 308. And I'm looking at lightweight guns. So I wanted this gun, this lever. It was 8 pounds, and this is supposed to be a light gun. This gun was 8 pounds, 7 ounces, with the ammo. It's got the ammo. Nothing in the chamber. So it felt very heavy and very cumbersome. Big scope, heavy scope, a pound something on top, and then, you know, I said it's a short gun. It's a 20-inch barrel. It should be lighter. Now it's 7 pounds, 4 ounces, because I removed the heavier rings that I had, and I went and bought some new ones. These are only 2.5 ounces, 2.3 ounces, with 2.4 with a packet. Okay, that's going to go into the new gun with this scope. But on this one, I already had this Leupold 2-7 scope and these lightweight aluminum rings, 1 inch, and I put it on, and it doesn't bother the setting for the open sights. And this gun, this is my first rifle, and it's smooth and it shoots very well. I'm pretty accurate. This is going to be my heavy forested hunting area, deep forest, deep enough that you can go bow hunting in. This is not open range, even though I can hit far away. But now that I took away the VDC telescope, I will be guessing where I'm hitting. So with this scope, 100 yards, I'm right on the money. I can hit a dime several times. So this is a quick, easy to swing around, take aim, and shoot scope with this gun. So this is short to medium range, and I say medium, 200 yards range rifle. And this rifle, it's going to stay this way because the fact that now it's only 7 pounds 4 ounces. It's a lot easier to handle, and it's a lot better to carry around. You're not griping about it. Believe me, when you're out there at 8,500 feet, it's cold as hell. You're wrapped with a lot of layers of clothing. You look like a blimp walking down the trail, and then you carry a heavy gun to boot. You're not going to be a happy camper. You have to make things comfortable and easy to maneuver. If a deer pops up and you have a big, bulky, 10-pound gun or 9-pound gun, it's a lot easier with this, big time easy. So I'm pretty happy with the setup, and all I have to do now is take it to the range and sight it in, and we're done. So now with the new gun that I'm looking at, I got a way of, the way I shop is like this. I walk into the store literally with a scale in my hand. I turn it on and I said, show me the lightest gun you have. And then we put it on the scale and we weigh it. So I went and I found a Tikka T3X with a fluted barrel. No, wait, that one doesn't have the fluted barrel. It was the regular barrel, stainless steel. That weighed 6 pounds 6 ounces. Then I saw a Savage Model 16 in stainless. I really like that gun, but it has a couple of problems. It has a fluted bolt, and the fluted bolt jams even when it's empty. And I tried doing follow-up shots real quick right there at the shop, and it kept getting jammed. A gun should be as smooth as this. Wait a minute, let me make sure I got nothing in there. Okay, I do have ammo on this one. Let me take it out, because I just brought in the guns, and I usually keep them loaded in the safe. Okay, so it's empty. A gun should be easy to operate. So if you see a deer, one thing about this, it cannot have this rubber thing on it because it's very close to the scope. Okay, so you go boom, boom, boom. The Savage wasn't doing that. The Savage was getting stuck on me because of the fluted grooves and they were kind of rough and edgy. They weren't that smooth, and it wasn't as smooth as this Ruger. All my guns, well, all my guns, I only got 3 handguns. My guns have to be smooth to be operational, because you're going to be in cold weather also, and you want the gun to operate in no matter what type of temperature. If it's giving you that kind of problems in the store, just imagine what's going to happen out in the woods. You got to think about stuff like that. Same thing as this one. This one, obviously, it's a lever action. It's a lot quicker. Okay, it's empty. So the same way, you bring it up, and I shoot both ways. I shoot, I'm ambidextrous, so I can go boom, 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 boom. Okay, it has to be quick and smooth. And actually, this will be the ideal follow-up shot rifle, unless you get an automatic, which they're heavy. Okay, so I was looking at the Tikka, the Savage Model 16, in stainless. Also the stock on the Savage, a little cheesy. You can see a gap between on one side of the barrel bigger than the other. There was a gap. The Savage should look into this. There was a gap where the metal meets the stock here, and there was a gap about almost a quarter of an inch. You can see a screw going down in there. So they took an Allen wrench and they tried to tighten it up, and it didn't do the job. So I said, never mind. If it's already having problems, you know. But the thing about the gun that I like, the Savage, is that it's only 5 pounds, 5.5 ounces. That's very light. So quality-wise, the Tikka is ahead. Then I saw another Tikka in another store that had a laminate wood. I had some texting conversation with a gentleman that has several of the plastic stock Tikkas, and he says he wished he gotten the wood or the laminate stock because the calibers are kind of brutal. He's shooting Magnums 270 and 30-06. I'm going to shoot 308, so it's not going to be that bad. So the gun, it looks like it kicks a little bit too much for him. So he wished he had a little bit more weight to it. So the laminate wood Tikka stock, that one is also a stainless steel, and that one weighs 6.9 or I think it was 9. So it's a little heavier by a few ounces, not a lot. And then I saw a Christensen rifle with a fiberglass stock. It had the fluted bolt, but this fluted bolt was very well machined, very smooth. I did my quick follow-up action, butter, smooth. It had the bronze barrel, the camouflage stock, and it had a flash suppressor at the end of the barrel, or a muzzle, so it doesn't kick that much. And it was a different caliber, and that was the priciest one. It was the Savage was 5 something, 5.5, almost 6. The Tikka was 6.5. The wooden laminate Tikka was 950, let's say. It was up there, 980. And then the Christensen was 1300. The Christensen is 6 pounds 11 ounces on the dot. Actually 6 pounds 11 ounces 0.4, because this scale is pretty accurate. So I already reduced 14 ounces, 13.5 ounces with this setup. So whatever I get off my waist, I can put on the gun. I do not want an ultralight gun that's going to kick me. That's going to be brutal. You won't like to pull the trigger. So now I'm debating between, there's another Tikka with the fluted barrel. And that's the guy that told me that the gun kicks. But he's shooting bigger caliber. I would never shoot a 30-06 anyways. The gun needs a little bit of weight for stability and accuracy. If you have an ultralight gun, unless you have a small caliber like 6.5 Creedmoor or maybe 7M08, you need a little bit of weight on the stock. A lot of shooters know this, especially if you're shooting offhand. I know a guy that has a Kimber. He loves it. I saw some videos on Kimber, and they're kind of whippy. I mean, the guy's getting his face slammed with the recoil. I think it was shooting 30-06. Again, if you're going to shoot a lightweight rifle, shoot a lightweight bullet. Don't shoot a huge 300, whether it be Magnum or something. So not the Winchester Magnum. So the plan is to get, I'm between the Christensen and the Tikka with the laminate. The Tikka with the laminate is a little lighter and a lot cheaper. We're looking at $400 around there. You know, then you put taxes and whatever. So money is always an object. I'm not rich. So another thing that I noticed that the salesman showed me on the Ticas that I never noticed before is that all Ticas have the same size chamber, no matter what size bullet you're shooting. The bolt is basically the same length, and the chamber it's the same length. So you could be shooting a 22 to 50, a 308, a 30 6. The bolt it just that goes in either further in or less for the bullet to get in there and lock it. So basically what you're doing is you're carrying an extra amount of metal in this area that you don't really need. The Christensen has a chamber size for the 308. It's just for the 308. So, and the bolt is shorter. We measured it. The store was empty for 2 hours. So this guy had nothing to do. I really picked his brain, and he also taught me some things, and I taught him some things. So he noticed, he pointed that out, and I said, you know what, I never noticed that because I never had a Tika, and I never really, I shot once, but I never really paid attention. So it is true that the chamber and the bolt are all the same size. They're all the same length. It just it depends on the size of the bullet. So if I get the 6.11 Christensen, then it's going to be 7.11. What a number, 7.11. This one here weighs 8.11 ounces. It's a little bit over. This is a 270 Ruger. It's smooth, and I've been doing some things to lighten it. I did this like the Savage did on the stock. I kind of butchered it, took some wood off of that. Put a new pattern. I drilled 3 5/8 holes in here as far as the drill can go, and I removed some wood there. Still pretty solid, but the gun's still kind of heavy and it's a little longer. But this is for medium to light, long range. So I'm keeping this one. And I like that gun. I've got several deals with it. So that's the deal. The new gun. I'm not in a hurry. I'm not going to get it this year. It's going to be around the beginning of next year, so I can start doing my loads and everything, and then get the scope on it and get it sighted in. It has to be in 308 because this scope is being programmed for 308, and or the 7M08 is so close to the 308. Drop wise at 500 yards, it's about 1.5 inches to 2. And the drift, it's just a few inches more. Maybe I can just get a 7M08 and put that scope on it. I don't know if I should, because I'm kind of risking buying an expensive gun and putting an expensive scope and not really being matched. But I'm really going to look into that and do the numbers and see what happens. So that's it. I lightened up the 308. I'm pretty happy with the weight that it is now. And I'm going to get a new gun for the scope.